Tariq, Dr. Johnson.
All right, this is Jason Johnson right here on the phone. What's going on, family?
I'm good. I had several people tweeting me asking that I come and participate in the conversation. It was flattering and surprising. Y'all obviously aren't operating on East Coast time, but that's okay.
That's all right. We're on the West Coast. So somebody was saying that you had some disagreements with me. What were your disagreements, Jason?
Well, we were tweeting, I believe it was on Friday night. My primary disagreement was this. If your interest, as you say, is in informing progressive blacks about the things that we need to do to save and protect and uplift our people,
right,
engaging in long-winded, angry, and hostile arguments with black women who happen to be feminists online, I don't think it serves that purpose.
Pause right there, sir. Wait, sir, we got to pause right there because the only people, and if you look at my tweets, I go out of my way to not use insults, profanity, or any vulgarities. So the people using the long, angry narratives were the black feminists. So let's be very clear on that, Mr. Jason.
Did you or did you not use the term Negro bedouin?
I used that on a podcast of mine. I didn't use it on Twitter. I used that on a podcast of mine. So, but we're talking about, now let's not blur the lines because we can talk about that too. But right now we're talking about on Twitter as far as this whole hashtag of stop street harassment. When I'm on Twitter, I go out of my way to be extremely polite because I know that the black feminists are going to use very vulgar language and I try to rise above that. So do you criticize them for being vulgar and aggressive and insulting when they use their narratives on Twitter? Because I never see you do that.
Well, the reason that I approached you, I'm going to be very clear about this.
Brother, Jason, Jason,
for your hidden colors.
Jason, brother, hold on. Because I wanted an answer. You did that last night. When I asked you something, you go to another thing. I actually wanted an answer.
No, let me be clear because I'm going to answer your question. What you would consistently do is you would say, if somebody gave you an answer you didn't like, you would say they were deflecting. I'm answering your question.
No, you would just ask you something and then you go to something else. Go ahead.
My original reason for approaching you is because I had a great deal of respect for your hidden colors films.
Right.
I was like, okay, this guy is a reasonable dude. And I think he's probably being unfairly attacked by some people who get caught up in whatever kind of ideological nonsense that they have.
Right.
But nobody who makes those films can't be someone who's capable of having a reasonable argument. So that's why I approached you. There are other people, and I'm not going to go through everybody's hashtag and everybody's Twitter handle. There are other people who identify themselves as black feminists or may simply be supporters or people who are advocates of the OK Sis hashtag, et cetera. Plenty of those people are rude as well. But I'm not interested in them. I'm interested in the guy who's produced work that I respect.
Right.
And so I assume, hey, this is a guy that can be spoken to. I don't know any of these other silly people. So I wouldn't even approach them.
So you don't take them.
So, what you produce, I was like, this is a guy I can talk to.
Right. So you don't take them seriously, which I don't either to a certain degree. So we're in agreement to that. We're in agreement with that. A lot of this, their rhetoric, you just don't take seriously, and I'm glad you kind of admitted that. But something else that was very interesting we talked about as far as this whole street harassment thing, right? We had a discussion on that, and my thing with you is we talked about the motives behind it, and you said that the motives doesn't matter as long as we talk about street harassment. Am I being correct?
No. What I said was, one. Just because there may be people who are racists, who are promoting a white supremacist agenda,
right?
Okay,
right.
People like that exist everywhere, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the people who are advocates and in favor of the UOK sis, it doesn't necessarily mean that those people are actively or even passively working for white supremacy. And when you say that, when you start a conversation by automatically assuming that the other side are ignorant tools or willing tools, then your chances of actually changing any minds or engaging in real education is limited.
Now, Jason, wait. Now, let me answer that. Let me address that. Now, Jason, when we point that out, because again, a lot of times I ask people what their position on the street harassment is, and then we gradually bring it to their attention that, hey, do you know who's behind this and what their agenda is? Now, when they give me the answer, it doesn't matter. And you told me that last night too, that it doesn't matter. Street harassment is still real. That's a problem right there. Is that not?
No, I actually disagree. I mean, I don't think, from what I have read that you have produced on your timeline, so if there's additional information, I'm perfectly open to it. I don't think you've proven that the people behind the UOKSIS hashtag are this mysterious group of open white supremacists.
No.
One white woman whose name is Carl, I don't know what her entire name is, but that is the only evidence that I have seen you produce thus far. But even beyond
wait, let's stop there because let me be very clear. Okay. Because you said an open white supremacist. My thing is, a white supremacist or suspected white supremacist, as I like to use, these are people who use black people for their own political, social gain. People who are non-black who use black people in an inferior manner. They don't have to be Klansmen. They don't have to be skinheads. Any people who manipulate black people, I look at them as white supremacists. So let's be very clear. Now, when I gave you a link last night showing you that these white feminists are trying to pass a law to criminalize verbal street harassment. You told me that the law was just symbolic. Did you not tell me that?
Yes, because it will never get passed.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that?
Seriously, that would never get passed. And you mentioned, or several people mentioned, well, we said the same thing about stop and frisk, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
That is a law. Stop and frisk is a law that was passed in a particular city because it was a way for cops to abuse people, which is what police often do. For street harassment to even function, it's almost impossible for someone to pass a law against street harassment because you have almost no way of enforcing it.
That's the point, Jason.
Screaming and yelling about a law that not only does not exist, but will be almost impossible to implement and enforce.
Brother,
that doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't. The fact that it's arbitrary is the reason why they want to enforce it, because now it can be left up to the discretion of the accuser. It's not impossible for them to have a law like that because they had it already. They already had laws like that. If a black person said something to a white person, bam, you can get locked up. They had laws, so how is that impossible?
If a white person goes in and accuses somebody black of all sorts of random crimes, black people get thrown in jail all the time. We're aware of this. But you're talking about something which has to do with communication, which you would have no proof of. None.
They didn't have proof of
arguing about a theoretical law.
Jason.
Arguing about a theoretical law doesn't make any sense.
Jason.
And again, in a larger scheme of things.
Jason. Did they have proof? Yeah. Did they have proof that Trayvon Martin beat up George Zimmerman?
No, but that involves cops.
Oh, God, dude. So you think if it didn't involve a cop, it involved Zimmerman. It didn't involve a cop. No, it didn't. It didn't involve a cop. They didn't have proof.
Actually, it involved police from the very beginning. It involved the fact that the police got there to the scene late, as they always do, and then he told them a particular story, and they engaged the investigation, and they
Jason, now you're being disingenuous. Jason, it involved the cops after the fact. Jason, it involved the cops after the fact. It involved the cops after the fact, after the so-called crime was already committed, but it did not involve cops. It was an arbitrary accusation, and the public believed it. The jury believed it, Jason. So how do you sit up and tell me that they couldn't pass a law like that, and they're doing it already? They doing it with not only did they do it with Trayvon Martin, they did it with Jordan Davis. They did it with Jordan Davis.
Failure to file a police report, which is why everybody got involved in protest. Okay. And that is 100 miles away from whether or not somebody could make an empty accusation saying, this person said something to me that made me uncomfortable. And the idea that you could enforce that, it wouldn't happen unless you had police.
That is Jason. That is incorrect, Jason. That is incorrect, my brother. They did the same thing with Jordan Russell Davis down in Florida again. When Michael Dunn said he said something to me and made me uncomfortable, so I had to kill him. Remember, they acquitted him of the murder and got him on the attempted murder. So that what you're saying is incorrect. It's being proven incorrect, sir.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true, because what you actually have to do, and look, and this is what I'm talking about, is for what I consider to be, fairly non-productive. I'm the last person on the face of the planet, under any circumstances, to not believe that the legal system and how it's implemented is constantly and consistently, because it was constructed in a way.
I keep pointing out recent cases to you. I keep pointing out recent cases, and you keep dismissing them.
This particular law that doesn't exist will not work the way you said it will, because it doesn't exist and it wouldn't even get passed.
That's why they're trying to get it passed. They're trying to get it. Do you understand this lady is trying to get it passed? You don't think she can get it passed?
No, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen, Tariq.
But why,
so in the meantime,
dude, why are they getting money? Why are they getting money for this?
Having conflict with black women who happen to be feminists, and like I said, questioning the motivation of other people and saying that just because they have this belief system that they're automatically tools of white supremacists, that doesn't help. That was my only argument.
Okay, now Jason, let's get back to the legalities. Now, Jason, let me ask you this. The white feminists. So do you think, Jason, that the white feminists genuinely care about black women being harassed in the streets? Do you honestly believe that?
You're asking me to speak for an entire group of people, which no one can do.
Dude.
There are lots of African American women who say they're feminists. There are lots of white women who say they're feminists. For me to say,
let me break it down. Then let me be specific. Let me break it down.
That's kind of like
let me be specific, Jason.
Like big butts and
let me be specific, Jason.
I can't speak for all
Let
white
me be
people.
specific. Do you think that the lady behind the street harassment campaign, Holly Curl, who the links I showed you, do you think that she's genuinely concerned about the black women being harassed by black men? Do you think that white feminist is genuinely concerned about that?
I don't know. I don't know her.
Okay. So my thing is, I don't think she is, because no white feminist groups back black women against white males. Is that true or not true? If it's true, prove it.
Number one, you can't really say all feminist groups.
Prove it then, Jason. Prove it to me, brother. Prove a white feminist group that backed a black feminist group of black women against white males.
Let's go back to the rhetorical route.
Let's go to no, Jason. Let's go to the proof route. Jason, let's go to the proof route. No, Jason, no, Jason. Let's go to the proof route. I don't want to go rhetorical. I want proof. Can you prove that white feminists in history, any of them, any time in history, backed black women against white males? That's a very specific question, not rhetorical. Either can you prove it or can't you prove it?
You can't prove it either, and I never.
Because it doesn't happen. I can prove it. It doesn't happen. Jason, I can prove it. They never did it. I can prove it. They never did it.
It doesn't make any sense.
That's not changing the goalpost. I'm telling you, they've never done it. White feminists have never. They've never backed black women up.
The law stuff won't work.
Jason,
the law stuff won't work.
Now
I can't tell you what every single white feminist on the planet or every.
I'm talking about not even just any of them. Any of them, brother. Any of them. They've never backed black women up against white males. You know that. Let's not pretend, Jason. They've never done that.
I'm not pretending anything.
All right, well,
I am not going to argue for or against feminists because I'm not a feminist.
But you are arguing, but that's your argument. That's your whole purpose, brother. That's your whole purpose, sir.
I understand why, but you're trying to ask me to defend people who I actually am not defending or supporting one way or another.
Well, you are. You are, brother. Well, you are.
I want you to explain the decisions of Dan Gilbert. You're not a terror fan. What difference does it make?
But we're talking about feminists. We're talking about black feminists right now. We're talking about white feminists and black feminists. That's what we're talking about right now. And so I'm asking questions pertaining to that. So it is a relevant question, Jason.
Right. But the problem is you are speaking about all white women who happen to be feminists and all African American women who happen to be feminists. And neither you, even in asking that question, I doubt you can name 10 different white feminist organizations. I certainly know I can't because I'm not a feminist. So when you
that's
say,
not the point. That's a
non
non sequitur, brother. That's a non sequitur.
You can't answer the question yourself.
That's because it's a non sequitur. That question is irrelevant. The question is about support. Why are these white feminist organizations all of a sudden supporting black women with street harassment when they don't support black women in anything else, especially with black women getting beat up by cops lately? All of a sudden they want to support black women when the face of street harassment is black men. I'm saying that they're doing it for nefarious reasons. You're saying they'll never get a law passed. They'll never get this passed. And I'm saying it's a possibility for them to get it passed because they can get any law passed against us. We live in a system of white supremacy. So anything goes with us. They got Jason. Hold on, brother. Hold on, Jason. Hold on, Jason.
White supremacist organization without being able to explain which white women are supposedly involved, and that doesn't. Again, we get caught up as a people in forgetting that this entire system is constructed in a way to cause us harm. But, if we start screaming and yelling about every single organization and we generalize everybody as a group, then we can't win.
Well,
that's not helpful.
We're not going to win by having people come around with nefarious reasons and manipulating us into co-signing movements that they have that they're not telling us what their real solution is. The woman behind street harassment should have told people that she's trying to get a law passed that's going to criminalize black men. That's what she's trying to do. Whether you think she's going to get it passed or not, I don't care what you think, and I'm saying that respectfully. I'm still looking at them because what if she does get it passed? That's my thing. You don't know whether the law get passed. If she does get it passed, now I'm worried, and I'm looking at the white supremacist. That's my point, Jason.
Right. Well, again, as I told you before, it ain't going to be passed. But more importantly,
you don't know that. You don't know that.
The problem is you are telling people who are supporting the OK Sis hashtag, you're telling them that they're all dumb and that they're all being manipulated. And what I'm
didn't say that at all. No, brother. No, Jason, don't do that. Stop. No. Don't say. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all because a lot of them aren't dumb. A lot of them know full well what the white supremacists are trying to do. They're not dumb at all because when you point it out and they still choose to ignore it, that means they're not dumb. That means they're perfectly okay with throwing other black people under the bus. That's what I'm looking at too.
You're making blanket. You're making
because I'm talking about a blanket group. I'm talking about a blanket group of people, so I'm going to make blanket statements.
Okay, I can say with a great degree of confidence right now that 99% of the people who are probably retweeting OK Sis right now are not sitting to themselves saying, oh boy, now that this law is, I hope this law gets passed so that Negroes can be thrown in prison. I promise you, the vast majority of the people who are retweeting that hashtag right now are doing it because they believe that when women walk down the street, many of them are subjected to overt and aggressive sexual words that make people uncomfortable and make a hostile sort of working or public space environment, et cetera, and this is a way to bring awareness to that. That's what most people are doing it for.
No, they're not. I don't believe that, Jason. I don't believe that, Jason. I don't believe that because when you talk to these people, if they're just trying to bring awareness and then you ask them a question and then they curse you out and all this on Twitter, most of these people are not trying to bring awareness. Sounds like they just have vitriol towards black people in general. These are just black people who don't like other black people. So that's what I look at it as. I don't think they're trying to bring awareness to anything.
And here's the thing. By having that attitude, all you're doing is creating. And again, this goes back to what I told you from the beginning.
Well, not even an attitude, Jason. I'm just going by their words. A lot of them are like, fuck black men ain't shit, fuck them. A lot of them, I'm going by their words. So I'm not using an attitude. I'm just listening to what they have to say.
And what I'm telling you is, as a thought leader, and as someone who is looked to and listened to by many different people.
Right.
What I know you realize
absolutely
that your personal experiences and your anecdotal interactions are not necessarily generalizable. Because I can tell you from my personal interaction with these people. That's not what I hear. So I'm neither negating your experiences nor am I saying
you're choosing to ignore what you're reading on Twitter.
Two people,
but that's you're choosing to ignore that. You're choosing to ignore what you're reading on Twitter, brother. You're choosing to ignore.
Neither one of us to operate as if we're the only way that the system works.
Well, it sounds like you're choosing to ignore a lot of the stuff on Twitter because it's very easy to see their views and their ideology. They're not even trying to hide it. And the thing is, when you ask them what their ideology is or what the solution is, people are very disingenuous about what they think the solutions are. A lot of people, not only that, a lot of people feel like black men should be locked up. Some of them straight up said that they do believe that certain black men should be locked up for verbally harassing them. This is what a lot of these so-called black feminists on Twitter have said. So I'm going by their words. I'm not using anecdotal evidence or any of my attitude. I'm just going by what they said. Yes, sir.
Tariq, that's the very definition of anecdotal evidence. You're talking about the people who you happen to have spoken to.
No, the people on Twitter that we can all verify and see.
That's like me saying every person who I know is a fan of chewing tobacco.
But you can't verify that. But I can't verify people you know. But I can't verify people you know, brother. I can't verify people you know, but I can verify the people on Twitter.
That's the people you've interacted with.
See, the thing is, I can't verify people that you know because I don't know them, but I can verify the people who are making tangible remarks on Twitter that we can both see. So we have a barometer to go by, brother. So that's a real big difference there. We're talking apples and oranges.
Not really, because like I said, it's like I can bring 20 scientists who say global warming is real, and you can bring 20 scientists who say global warming isn't real. The fact of the matter is, because you can have two people who have vastly different experiences in interacting with folks who necessarily have the same ideology, means that neither one of us could logically or responsibly say, well, then all the people are this or that.
Okay, so Jason,
American women who who happen to be feminists don't need to be nearly as problematic when I interact with them, and occasionally disagree, as the people that you interact with.
So Jason, the thing is this.
That doesn't help.
So people on Twitter who are co-signing the tag, because again, my thing is this: as far as street harassment, of course, street harassment is bad. Nobody should make harassing comments to anybody. I mean, of course, that's a given. But aside from that, even though I'm there, do you think we should ignore the white female feminists who are trying to push these laws? Should we ignore them because you said just because you think the law won't go through, should we still ignore them and their ulterior motives?
First off, you would have to prove that their ulterior motive is what you say it is, and you don't have any proof of that other than the fact that you think all feminists, and certainly all white feminists,
somebody give me a link. Okay,
so,
Jason, Jason. Now you're being intellectually dishonest, Jason. I gave you proof last night. I gave you a link.
That's not proof.
Jason,
you mentioned you have one article with one white woman who you assume is part of a larger white supremacist agenda, whether she is conscious of it or not.
Jason, now you're being disingenuous, Jason.
Jason,
you're being disingenuous.
That's one anecdote.
That's an article, Jason.
One
you're being dishonest, Jason. Jason. Back to the room. All right, okay. Now, Jason, I showed you the lady who's behind the street harassment campaign. I showed you a link in her words.
By the way, can I also mention that it's disputed as to whether or not she is behind OK Sis, so that's also part of the problem. It's kind of like you have an album that's made and you got 5 different people who say they came up with the beat. Because to be honest with you, many of the African-American women who are the advocates of OK Sis, they say this woman did not come up with it.
She's behind. No, she's behind.
She street harassment and OK Sis.
That's semantics, Jason. Semantics, Jason. She's behind the street harassment campaign, and they put Feminista Jones out there to be in charge of the so-called hashtag. Whoever creates the hashtag is irrelevant. Who's behind the political movement and what's that? Come on, brother. That is true. There's a political movement behind it. Arguing about that's like that's a straw man argument, dude. That's a straw man argument, dude. That's a straw man argument, Jason. Come on, dude. Who's behind the hashtag? Who's behind the entire street harassment movement, dude? Don't argue with me about semantics. You know better than that, dude. That's like you want to talk about a uniform. If you talk about a uniform and then you want to argue what the color is. We're talking about a uniform and you're arguing what the color of the uniform is. Dude, stop it.
Somebody who you have a problem with,
dude.
I'll listen to the video, but who you can't prove is actually engaging in the behavior that you say they're engaging in.
This person who's behind street harassment, the whole street harassment movement campaign, this woman has said in her own words she's trying to create a law. I showed you a link and you're choosing to ignore that, brother. You're choosing to ignore that.
No, I said various times that
brother, you're choosing to ignore that.
Create a law doesn't mean that the law is actually going to get passed. Doesn't mean that it was
now you just said there wasn't proof. Now you said there wasn't proof. Brother, you said there wasn't proof. Brother, hold on.
That the ultimate goal of the law is to
Coon Train is coming. Coon Train is coming.
What about black on black crime?
The proof is that she's trying to create a law. You can't prove that the purpose of the law is to put black men in jail.
Brother, that is the ultimate goal of the law because they're using black men as the face of street harassment. So that is the ultimate goal. So it is true.
Can't prove that.
I can't prove that. I showed you a link of them showing nothing but black men as street harassment. Yes, I did.
What you sent was a link from BuzzFeed, and I'm telling you.
Yes, it is. And the street harassment people promoted that link. The street hold on, brother.
Get harassed by the men who are in the community that they live in. So if you're a white guy and you live around a bunch of white people, that's who you're mostly talking to. And if you're a black person,
well, how come you don't? They got a link. When they put out a link, brother, they put out a link of nothing but black men. They put out a link of black men representing them as street harassers. That's a problem. When they put out a link of black men showing them as street harassers, what do we have to do to look between the lines? Because they're not going to come right out and say, hey, we're going to target black people. So it's up to us to be smart enough to say, hey, look, they have an agenda here. You're sitting up talking about, well, they didn't say it, and you know better than that, brother. You know better than that. They're using an agenda.
What I'm telling you is that at the beginning of this conversation, I said, this is ultimately a waste of time. And the rhetoric used in this debate ends up being more divisive than being helpful. And I also said that you cannot prove, and I'm telling you this because I think ultimately it ends up wasting everybody's time, you can't prove that, one, that the person who quote-unquote created street harassment is a white woman, because you have plenty of other people who say, actually, she didn't come up with that.
Brother, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Jason, stop. Jason, stop. That's not true. Jason, brother. Jason. Okay, brother, I got it, brother. Jason, dude. That's what you said is not true. You said I can't prove that she's a white woman. Yes, I can. I got the woman's name.
No, what I said is you cannot prove that she created the street harassment movement, because what I'm telling you is that there are various people who have said, actually, no, she didn't come up with that. It was something I came up with on my own because it's something that lots of different people have experienced.
That's not true, brother.
That's why you
brother, that is not true.
You can have 10 different people in the studio.
Brother, that's not true.
You can't just say,
brother, you just talking and talking ain't gonna make it true. What you're saying is not true, Jason. This woman created this new street harassment movement. It was created by this woman. She's out here pushing it. She's a consultant to the UN, so this woman has all types of political clout. She's the brains behind this whole movement. So what you're saying is not true. Whoever else you're talking about, I don't know who they are, but behind this movement, that woman is behind it. Holly Curl is behind it.
There are other people
that nobody knows who they are, brother.
The first time I heard about street harassment was actually over a year ago. Over a year ago, there are plenty of people, and that long before the OKKids hashtag.
I know that street harassment was created by white feminists in the 80s.
So it's the claim that this lady came up with it. No, there are lots of different people who have been addressing this particular issue.
Jason, stop. So Jason, you're blurring the lines, Jason.
Sort of
You're blurring the lines,
People pull
Jason.
off the mask and it's one bad guy, but that's not
You're
what happened.
blurring the lines, Jason. Now you're talking about street harassment as an ideology and street harassment as a movement. Now, street harassment as an ideology, that was created by another white feminist in 1981. So technically, the ideology of street harassment, in theory, has been around since 81. But the modern movement was started by Holly Curl, and she has political connections with the UN and other government agencies, and she's behind that. We have proof. I showed you the proof. And I'm showing you what this woman's agenda is. You choose to ignore it, brother.
It's the terminology that you're using. You know, I'm not ignoring anything.
Yes, you are. You're ignoring that, brother.
This is what I was talking about as far as productive dialogue.
Right.
Just because somebody disagrees with the evidence that you present or interprets the evidence.
You said I didn't have any evidence.
It doesn't mean that there's a plenty. It means I disagree with you.
Well, if I show you,
say, look, this is from the moon, and you can
it's
say,
like,
no, it's
I'm
not.
showing you there's a bottle of water. You're like, no, it's not. And that's your argument. I'm showing you this is a bottle of water, and you're saying, no, it's not. I'm like, this is water. You're like, no, it's not. And that's your argument. So it's like, your argument is like it's not even intellectually honest, brother. So I'm showing you the evidence. And you're just like, you're using the deny everything. You're just using the deny everything argument.
I mean, again, you know, we can jump up and down and bang our heads against the wall. None of this actually ends up saving anybody. None of this actually ends up helping anybody.
But what's going to help us is to know what they're coming at us with.
First off, you're not going to stop people who are legitimately and sincerely concerned about the sexual and physical safety of women walking around.
What's the solution? What's the solution?
It's foolish.
What's the solution? What's the solution, Jason? Jason, what's the solution? What's the solution? Jason, hold on.
Because there is no such thing as an ideology.
Where's the white women at? All white peoples ain't bad. We is our own worst enemy.
I mean, I can't hear you, brother. I had when you talk over me, I got to put the coon train video on because you're running off the tracks with it, brother. I can't hear you when you're just going on and on, brother. Yeah, but brother, Jason, when I'm talking, you got to listen, brother, because when I'm trying to talk and you're talking over me, I got to hit you with the coon train because nobody can hear anything, brother, and we can't understand what you're saying. And I can't interject. I'm giving you an opportunity to say what you got to say, but then you're just trying to bogart, and that's not dialogue, brother. Now, what I have to say to that, what you just said, is that I'm showing you lots of evidence, brother, but you choose to ignore a lot of the evidence that I'm giving you, and saying, well, that's not proof. Well, that's not a real debate.
Actually, it is. It is. If I accept the evidence that you present and I find it less than convincing because it doesn't present a tremendous amount of facts, that's exactly what the debate is. If I refuse to read what you presented, then that would be different.
But you said
you sent one link with one particular person and you have absolutely no proof. You have no proof whatsoever that this person's goal is to put black men in jail with a law that has not been passed. That is what you think will happen, and that is your concern.
Right.
And your concern is legitimate. But your ability to prove that that's where this is going is nowhere to be seen.
Well, I can't prove that she said it. It is to be seen. Jason, now that's very dangerous. So now, in order for me to so-called prove it, we have to wait till the law goes through?
Yeah. What you would have to be able to demonstrate is that this particular person, first off, has the ability to pass a law that, again, would never get passed. But second,
you don't know that. How do you know that? You don't know that, brother. You don't know that law would get passed. You don't know it either. But you don't know the law would get passed.
Behaving as if this is something that's popping up around the corner. Goodness gracious, there have been all sorts of laws that people have tried to pass in this country that don't get passed all the time.
But if the law is going to affect me, but if the law is going to affect me, if the law is going to affect me, I want to know about it.
Interrupting people, I'm still speaking. You would let me finish.
Yeah, but if the law is going to affect me, if the law is going to affect me, I want to know about it.
There are people who have attempted to pass laws in this country since time immemorial that don't get passed. You have not been able to demonstrate, which again is part of the problem, that this woman had specific hostile intent towards people of color.
I do.
So what you're doing is you're saying because she's white and because she happens to be a feminist,
I do.
And because she may be advocating some sort of insane law that'll never get passed,
I do.
That her long-term goal is to cause people harm.
I do.
And again, what I would ask you is, what then would you suggest for those African Americans out there who are concerned about this particular issue, like it's only black people, but for people who are concerned about this particular issue, what would you suggest as an alternative? Let's get into your premise. Let's say that she's this terrible human being. Then what would you advocate for the men and women who are like, okay, we won't work with her, but what should we do about street harassment? What is your advice?
My advice,
what is your alternative suggestion, Tariq?
My advice, number one, I would say, let's get together and stop these police officers from beating black women in the face. That's number one. My concern right now wouldn't be a black man trying to holler at a woman on the streets. Right now, we need economic empowerment. We need black businesses. We need to get these police off our asses. We need to stop them from shooting our kids in the goddamn face. That's what I would talk about first before I start talking about a brother hollering at a woman on the streets. We got bigger fish to fry if we're going to go there, brother.
But here's the issue. Here's the issue. If number one, this is important to take into consideration. Anytime we have these discussions, or anytime anyone has these discussions where we pretend it's an either or, you got some black person who's like, hey, we need to take more care of, nutrition in the black home. And someone's like, no, it's not. That's not the most important thing. We should be looking on this. People can pat their head and rub their tongue. Okay? So just because you're talking about street harassment, which you just diminished by saying it's just brothers trying to holler at a woman, and that's part of the problem because you're diminishing what people are talking about.
Whoa, stop. Hold on, wait. I got it.
I'm finishing my sentence.
Stop. You're going to have to stop. You're going to have to stop.
Coon train is coming.
What about black on black crime?
Coon train is coming.
Where the white women at?
Coon train is coming.
All right.
That's not true. Because right now, street harassment is all verbal. That's all it is. When it boils down to it, Jason, street harassment is basically dudes trying to holler. It ain't about grabbing because there's already assault laws on the books, brother.
That is your definition?
No, that's the law. That's the law. Ain't my definition, dude. That's the law. I've seen the law, street. I've seen the law.
You just said there's no law.
There is a street harassment law. It's just not a verbal, dude. It is a street harassment law. Did you know that? It's street harassment laws in damn near 50 states. It is a law, but it's not verbal. Street harassment constitutes grabbing somebody. It constitutes following somebody twice. I know the law in and out. So there is a street harassment law. They're trying to amend it. I'm telling you. Okay, are you going to listen to me, brother?
I'm listening.
All right.
I always listen.
All right, listen to me. I'm telling you there's street harassment laws. I can pull them up if you need them. They have laws that constitute street harassment. Most of it has to do with physical, grabbing, touching, groping, holding. It has to do with physical contact. Also, it has to do with following people a certain amount of blocks if you follow a person twice, but it doesn't have anything to do with verbal, which is what the feminists, the white ones, are trying to get on the books. They want to make it verbally a crime to verbally harass somebody. That's the thing I have a problem with because these laws will become very arbitrary. When you say it's verbally illegal to say something to somebody, that leaves it open to a lot of stuff. But they're already laws, so do not go play this whole, well, woman shouldn't be grabbed. Of course you shouldn't be grabbed. That's not street harassment. That's assault, and there's already laws for that. We're talking about verbal harassment, brother, so I'm not diminishing anything. That's what street harassment in this conversation pertains to, verbal harassment.
And what I said, actually, if you would allow me to finish.
Go ahead, brother.
What I'm also talking about is some 16-year-old girl who's walking home from Target where she works, and some guy's like, hey, I want to do this to you, I want to do that to you, I want to do this to you, I want to do that to you. She's like, hey, leave me alone. They happen to be at the same bus stop. He don't touch her. He doesn't threaten her. But on the bus, at the bus stop, and all the way home until her stop, this guy is constantly saying sexually aggressive and explicit things to her, and this young woman is like, look, I don't want to be subjected to this. Now, there is freedom of speech in this country.
That ain't got nothing to do with freedom of speech. There's a law against that.
Freedom of speech. Are you going to let me finish?
There's a law against what you just said. There's a law against what you just said.
So what you can do, you can pretty much say what the heck it is you want to do, which is why criminalizing law wouldn't work. But what I'm saying is, for someone who may be retweeting OK Sis, it is perfectly reasonable for that person to believe, hey, look, I'm talking about that 16-year-old girl coming home from Target. And this dude is not just saying, hey, you look real pretty today, or oh my God, you're fine. That's a dude that's someone trying to holler. That's fundamentally different from some guy over and over and over again saying explicitly sexual things of what he wants to do to some woman who's coming home who's like, yo, I don't want to hear this crap. I'm just trying to get on the bus and get back to my plane. Those are two different things.
So what you just described, okay, wait. All right, let me address that. All right, now what you just said is already illegal. If a dude is doing that, first of all, if he's over the age of 18 and he's doing that to a 16-year-old, that's pedophilia, that's child endangerment, so there's already a law against that on the books. Also, if he's following her, just constantly trying to get at her, there's already a law against that, brother.
I said being on the bus. I said you're sitting at the bus stop. That's not following, that's sitting at the bus stop.
Yeah, if he's just sitting there trying to get at the woman and that goes into assault right there. That's assault if he won't let the person go. If he's just, if this person can,
17 years old, that's not assault.
If he what?
She's 16, he's 17 years old. They're sitting at the bus stop. He didn't follow her anywhere. That's not assault. He didn't threaten her. He was just constantly talking about the sexual things he wanted to do. What I'm talking about as far as street harassment, which you said, well, it's just guys trying to holler, again, 16-year-old girl, 17-year-old guy, it starts off where he's like, hey, you really fine.
Listen to me, brother.
And she's like, hey, no thanks, I'm not really interested. Okay. And then he's like, well, I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this. She's like, yo, dude, like, leave me alone. Just trying to catch the bus.
Brother, that's called...
what I'm talking about. That's what a lot of people who support OK Sis are talking about.
But there's a law against that, what you just said. It's called stalking. That's the definition of stalking. So
that's not stalking if you're if you're occupying the same place. It's not
that's stalking. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It is stalking.
No, if you're occupying the same place, if you're
that's stalking.
If you are sitting at the same bus stop,
that's stalking, brother. That's stalking.
Stalking if somebody follows someone else, and I'm not following you if we're sitting at the same bus stop.
You ain't got to follow somebody to stalk them. You can be sitting in a tree to stalk somebody. If you're just there over a person, that's stalking. That's the definition of stalking.
Actually, no. It depends on what state you're in, actually.
Trust
me. I've done this work. It really, really depends on where you are. There's nothing illegal. The scenario that I just
what you just said is stalking.
With a 16 and 17-year-old girl, there is nothing illegal about that scenario at all.
Brother, that's stalking. In most places, that's stalking. Do you know the basic definition of stalking is unwanted obsessive attention by an individual or group towards another person. That's all it is, brother. That's stalking. You're trying to redefine what stalking is. I'm going to read it again.
No,
unwanted obsessive attention by an individual.
The definition of stalking and the enforcement of stalking depends on what state you're in.
But it's still.
What you just said was
but most states have stalking laws, brother.
In California, that's not necessarily stalking everywhere in the country.
But most places have stalking laws, and they have a basic definition of what stalking is.
See, now we're getting into debate things. You're saying most places this, that, and the other. And a second ago, you were saying it was everywhere. This is what I'm talking about.
Well, you're telling me something I don't know. I don't know anywhere where you can stalk a person and get away with it. I don't know anywhere where you can do that. I don't know nowhere where you can stalk. But you're telling me something that I might not know. Stalking is stalking.
What I'm telling you is that your definition of stalking is not the legal definition in every single state. And what I'm telling you is the scenario that I gave you.
I just gave you the basic definition of stalking.
That is not illegal. Nor would it be.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because all that woman has to do is say she's being stalked. Yes, it is.
No. That actually would not legally be stalking. Now, you can find.
I know out here it would. Out here it would. Now, out here in California it would be. Yes, out here it would be.
That shows that that's stalking and there's something you could be arrested for in your particular state, go for it. But you're not going to find that in all 50 states because it's not.
So what do you do? I know for a fact out here it's stalking because I've seen people go to jail for stuff like that. You harassing somebody and talking to them and won't let them go. I know it's a felony, not a felony, but it's a misdemeanor out here. So it depends on what state. That's up in the air, brother. So that's just kind of, that's a non sequitur.
And what I just told you is, that may be applicable where you happen to be. That is not illegal everywhere.
Okay, so do you suggest that they make it illegal in all the other places too?
No, what I'm suggesting is that the men and women, some of whom are advocates of the UOKSIS hashtag, are talking about the scenario that I gave, which is not someone being followed, which would not be defined as stalking, which is situational and which is episodic, where there are no laws at play that would defend someone or protect someone from that kind of behavior. And I promise you that if you were to have a conversation with a 16, 17, 25, 35, 45-year-old woman who has that experience at her bus stop or something else like that, waiting in the rain every day to catch it, I promise you that those men and women, those particular women, they ain't got the time or the energy to try to find out who the random dude is who keeps saying these inappropriate things to them, take them to court and everything else like that. So the idea of a hashtag is to simply, it's just like the stuff that people say about bullying right now. It's like, well, if you bring it to people's attention that this is inappropriate behavior, maybe it'll get somebody else. Maybe it'll be like an
But what if they don't? What if they don't, Jason? What if there's a stalker out there who's like, fuck that hashtag. I'm just going to stalk women. I'm going to just talk to them any kind of way. Hey, you got a fat ass. Damn Dr. Jason, damn Tariq Nasheed, because I tell dudes all the time, don't stalk women. I tell them not to harass all the time. I do a whole show and I write books on telling women how to talk to women, and it's not harassing. But let's say there's some random dude out there. He's like, look, damn a hashtag. I want to harass women. Hey, you got a fat ass. What should happen to that brother? Legally.
Well, it really depends on what he does. I mean, like,
I just told you.
Again, when you said stalking, I don't know what you mean by stalking. Are you saying this is someone who follows someone home? Are you saying this is somebody who...
I'm asking you a very cut...
I mean, what do you mean by stalking?
I didn't say stalking. I'm like harassing now. I'm talking about harassing, because street harassment, when it boils down to it, many of these women are saying, well, this guy said this. I don't deserve to be talked to rudely. The guy shouldn't say I got big titties. Okay, let's say guys insist on saying that to women. No matter what we do, we keep trying to bring awareness to them, and these dudes just keep on doing it. I don't like them to do it, but they just keep on doing it. Dr. Jason, what's the ultimate solution? What should be done to these men who keep doing it, even though we keep bringing awareness to them? What should be done, brother?
What I would suggest, and everybody would have to look at their situation where they happen to be, the brothers and sisters who see that kind of behavior and recognize that somebody else may be uncomfortable with being neat, step up and say something about it. Because that's about the best you can do.
That's the best you can do.
I don't think legally you could do much. If you see a woman, any decent man out there, if you see a woman who looks like she's being harassed, unless you think your life is going to be in danger, it don't take much. It don't take much to simply say, yo, dude, she ain't feeling it. Why don't you leave that shit alone? Okay? And, it's really fairly simple. That's pretty much what you do. And women can do that.
So hopefully she gets harassed where there's other people who can help her. So that's the answer?
That is literally, unless you're going to go into a whole lot of different random specific situations, that is literally the best answer, because the alternatives of which people can have plenty, I don't know how many of those things would be consistent and universal or even enforceable. That's what I'm talking about. If it's I don't know if you've ever been in this situation, but when I was younger, and when I was in school, I used to have to take buses 2-3 hours to get to my classes, et cetera. And a lot of times I have to get on the bus very early in the morning. It might just be me and one other person. If a young woman is in that situation, or she's going to catch the first bus at 5:40, the next one at 7:20, et cetera, just to get to her job by 9 a.m. in the morning, and there's a guy at her bus stop at the second stop every single day who keeps saying inappropriate things to her, I don't know exactly how that woman's going to handle that situation. I don't. Because if she's alone, her best bet is maybe try to tell the bus driver or something else like that, because I do not know, one, because there aren't any laws that will be enforceable in that situation, I do not know what real recourses people have other than to seek the support of other like-minded and caring people. And unfortunately, that's just the case. It's just like bullying. I talk about this with bullying all the time. People are like, we need to have all these rules against bullying. You to a certain extent, you can't stop kids from being mean to each other.
Now, and that is, now, Jason, now this is the issue right here. Now, because again, a lot of these so-called black feminists, they don't have an answer either. But what's going to happen? The white feminist usually pops up around this time and say, hey, I have a solution. And this is when they say, look at this law we're trying to pass. Since you're by yourself, and since Brother Jason said that you should be protected, and the black feminist said you should be protected, and none of you know what to do, I have a solution. Let's create this law that'll stop those bad dudes in those alleys from attacking you verbally. How about let's put this street harassment law and amend it so that verbal harassment can be a crime, and now we have an app where you can use this app to inform law enforcement where these guys are. How about that? Do you think they won't do that?
Do you really believe, and I'm being somewhat disingenuous when I say, do you really believe that your average person, first off, I told you, and this is simply something that we disagree upon, there's no reason to beat the dead horse, I do not believe this will ever become a law. But do you really believe that somebody who's trying to go to their job in the morning, who's on the bus at 5:45 a.m., believes that they can pull up an app on their phone that will inform the police, and that the police are going to give enough of a crap that they're going to show up at that bus stop and then attempt to arrest and try? That's insane. No one's going to bother.
Really?
That never happened.
It'll never happen.
I'm telling you the truth. I mean, look, if we want to get this sort of cultural knowledge and cultural narrative, well, I mean, 911 as a joke came out almost 25 years ago. We know that in most of our communities, the cops don't answer our calls anyway.
So it'll never happen. So you're saying a street harassment, something as crazy as a street harassment app will never happen?
I am telling you that a law that will make it illegal and therefore enforceable by 5 years in jail and $50,000 fine for being inappropriate to someone verbally, it does not include a threat. I'm telling you, that ain't gonna happen.
Jason.
Now, you and I can disagree on the likelihood of that occurring. And we are going to disagree, and that's fine. But what's important, which goes back to the core of what I was saying at the very beginning, which is why I approached you, just because you and I disagree on the likelihood of this ever being law doesn't mean that you are foolish, and it doesn't mean that I am naive about how white supremacy operates. And the problem is that when you suggest that because I disagree with you, that somehow I'm the man's tool or a fool,
Jason,
Jason,
so you saying that you just told me that it's just impossible. They would never do anything like that, make an app. Jason, I have news for you, brother. They already have it. They already have it. They already have it, Jason. I just put the link up in the room, Jason. They already have it, Jason. They already have a street harassment app, Jason.
You're misquoting me, Tariq. You're misquoting me, Tariq, because what I told you
You just told me it was ridiculous.
The law. I said the law. I did not say that
You're backpedaling.
I said that someone who is suffering from street harassment, I find it highly unlikely.
You're backpedaling, Jason.
Would believe that clicking on an app is going to lead to anything happening. But I never said, and you can go back and listen to the tape, I never said that an app wouldn't happen. I said this law would not
Jason, you
I said this law would not be effective.
Dude, if they're getting money from the city of New York to create apps, they got $40,000, something like that. I think they get more. They created an app to help combat street harassment. They're already getting the money and the funding in order. So they are getting this. And you did say, you said that you did say that an app was something that that's not going to happen. So now you're backpedaling a little bit, brother. It is.
What I said is that woman in the scenario that I gave, or someone who's at this bus stop at 6 o'clock in the morning getting harassed every day, I really doubt that person believes
Jason,
that clicking on an app is going to result in the police somehow showing up and prosecuting.
So why did they create an app? So why did they create? Why is the city of New York giving people money for these apps, brother? The city of New York gave this organization money for an app. Why are they doing this?
I don't know. Are you on city council?
All right, brother. Jason, thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. It's been real. Thank you so much, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Brother, hold on.
People ain't bad.
Is coming. Coon train is coming.
We is our own worst enemy.
Is coming. Coon train is coming.
What about black on black crime?
Is coming.
Dude. Now, didn't he say, oh, no, they ain't an app. They wouldn't dare have an app and all that. Didn't he just say that? Then I proved it. They already got the damn app. Well, I meant the law. They ain't going to have a law. Okay, Jason. This is a filibustering dude right here. Whoever's in this dude's school, in his class, oh my God. No disrespect. And much respect to Jason. Much respect to Jason. And this brother is filibustering. This brother was like, an app? Oh, Lord. No. Ain't nobody gonna have no app. An app? Oh, no. Ain't nobody gonna have no app. That wouldn't happen. Oh, God. You're just reaching. I'm proof. I didn't show this dude so much proof. And the minute you show him proof, he gets to backpedaling. I've showed this dude proof. You're like, how do you know? You can't prove that the lady behind street harassment is a white woman. What? We got her name. You can't prove that she's trying to pass a law. We got her in her own words. This is the denyingest nigga I've ever seen in my life. This brother denies everything. Oh, man, shout out to Jason. This brother will deny facts like it's nothing. This is the filibusteringest dude. My God. I mean, we just showed this brother the links. Well, we don't know if your links are true. App, there's not going to be no app. That's it. I can't deal with the filibustering no more. That brother has to deny and deflect. He's double D'ing, denying and deflecting. They already got an app for street harassment. Bro, they already got it. The state of New York gave these women, I'm telling you what they're getting. This is documented. Well, I don't know. I don't work on the city council. I'm like, okay, dude. Okay, now you just being intellectually dishonest. Stop it. Boy, if y'all go to his class, nigga, get your credits at ICDC or some shit. Just get out. My God. Yeah, I said that. He's like, he laughed. I said, hey, they're going to get an app. You got to be kidding me. Wow. And that's what you got in your schools, family. And shout out to Brother Jason. He held his own, you know. But my man was filibustering. Oh, my niggas, he kicks those semantics real heavy. No, I'm not. No personal attacks. You know, shout out to the brother. I respect the dude and his work, you know. But my man didn't keep it 100. My thing is this, family. Brothers like that, and respect to the brother. You know, he was, you know, trying to hold his own. But that's very dangerous listening to cats like that. I'm telling y'all, it's dangerous to listen to cats like that. Because they're telling you, you got to wait till the law goes through before you do something about it. You got to wait till the law goes through in order to do something about it, and that's not how you get down. That's not how you get down. Wait, CJ, what you do? Okay, now you trolling. Oh, you just trolling. Rock hard, stop. Stop trolling. Let's just deal with the facts. I'm presenting facts, brother. Let's just deal with facts. Let me know if he proved anything I said that was unfactual, please let me know. Let's deal with facts. What did he prove anything that I said that was not true? Because every time I would post some facts or give them a link or tell them where to go. That's not true. Man. Man. Yeah, and then talking about, my man was just denying everything. If you're a dude and you walking up, you sitting up, just talking to a woman and telling her you want to do sexual things to her, that's stalking. That's stalking. That's by the definition of stalking. That is stalking. But again, my man denied something that we easily proved just now. My man just said, that's the killing part. The dude was, not only did he deny it, he vehemently denied it. An app? Oh, God. Come on, an app? Nobody's going to do an app. Who's going to waste time with an app and then the cops coming out with an app? Okay. Brother, they already got it. Brother, the sky is blue. You can't prove that. The sky is black right now. So my man was using the semantics thing. This dude just evaded everything. Dude, my God. I keep things on, I keep it plain. I like to keep it plain. I don't like to filibuster with bullshit semantics. Let's keep it plain. When people start going all off, well, when I was a kid, I went to, no. Let's keep it plain, brother. Let's just keep it plain. Yes, indeed. Let's see who we got on the phone. Hey, what's up? Who's calling? Whoop, do I got him? Hey, who's calling?
Hey, what's up, Tariq? This AB from Orlando.
Hey, AB, how you doing, fam?
Not much. I just want to say something about guys like Jason, man.
Yeah.
It's just guys like that just like to disagree for the sake of disagreeing, get brownie points, and basically feel as though they're the only black people in their situation and they're kind of superior to other black people.
Yeah. Leotis, wait. Leotis Thomas, where you at? I want you to call up. I just saw a Twitter from you, Leotis from Chicago. Call up. He said, Leotis said, dude is getting at Tariq. Let me hear. I want Leotis to call up. All right, I'm going to have you call back, brother. Leotis, call up. I want your ass to call up. I want Leotis to call up. That's who I want. I want Leotis to call up. Yes, indeed. Let me see. Leotis, where you at? What's your name in the room, Leotis? Let's see who we got. We're in here deep tonight. What's up? Who's calling?
Yo, Tariq, what's up, man? It's Lee.
What's up, Lee? Where you calling from?
Chicago, man. I'm the one on Twitter, man.
Okay, now what you have to say? You talking shit on Twitter. Now what'd you say?
Listen, my dude. I'm wondering why you let this dude talk as long as he's talking, man.
I want to hear what he had to say. I'm going to give a person a fair shake. I wanted to hear what they had to say.
Yeah, but at the same time, you talking over you and shit like that. Like, I mean, I'm not really used to seeing you do that. So I'm just like, man, he getting at you. Because I'm like, yo, he really must have sparked something. Because I'm like, why are you even allowing this clown to talk like that? You
well,
know
no, I couldn't turn the volume down. That's why when he kept talking and I wanted to interject and he wouldn't talk, I put the coon train on. So I kept letting him know, hey, man, I got to talk. And that's his MO. Is just, he'll just keep talking and filibustering to run away from the question. That's why I kept getting at him about that. But again, we're just chopping it up. And my man, I kept trying to stop him from doing that. And I ain't got no volume button on the phone, which I need to get. And that's the thing. Okay. I kept having to put the coon train on it. But I'm giving the dude a fair shake. I'm like, I'm going to let somebody say what they have to say. You dig?
I respect that, man. But you know what? Like, you giving, well, I mean, that's my opinion, but it's a lot of these people, man, they clowns, like, in terms of, like, the mental capacity, they can't even understand. They're not trying to understand you, so, you might as well not even entertain them. That's my opinion.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
this
you're better
dude,
than me because
this
I
dude
hung up on, that's what are you about to say?
But this dude right here is a damn college professor, though, so he ain't just like one of these other people. This dude is out here teaching people. So,
oh, he was a college professor?
Yeah, this is a college professor. This dude be on Fox News and all that shit. So this dude is teaching folks his ideology. So that's something totally different. But yeah, I just wanted to see what you have to say, because it sounded like you were talking greasy on Twitter. You did. All right, nigga. Hey.
Nah, if I was talking greasy, I
you
would have
damn
a lot
nigga.
quicker than that. But
There you go. All right, man.
Get out of here, you damn nigga.
All right, get out of here,
get the
nigga.
fuck out of here.
Fuck off my phone, nigga. All right, there you go. That was funny. That was funny. Yeah, I gave the man, you know, I'm gonna give him his shot, give him a fair shake. You know, but my man was, boy, the last comment about the street harassment app, that was it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back on that one. Yes, indeed. Where are the ladies at? Where are the ladies? Where are the ladies? Shout out to all the ladies in the room. None of the so-called black feminists called up at all. And you know what, another thing I don't like what they do? They try to do stuff like on Twitter. I told them, I said, I give $1,000 to any of you black feminists if you can find any situation where white women back you up against white feminists, back black women up against a white male. I give any of y'all $1,000. Now, one dude found a link, some white lady who was an abolitionist in the 1700s who wasn't even a feminist. I said, nigga, kill yourself. The Feminista Jones, a little goofy self, pulled up a link of a white lady who was criticizing Anthony Camille for his racism. And she sent me the link talking about, pay me the money. Like, are you too slow to not know this ain't proof? Now, I'm telling you, some of those people on Twitter are idiots, but this dude knows better. This dude knows better. And another thing with these women, what's that? You 18-year-old, you grew up in poverty. How do you motivate yourself to be successful around your surroundings? Well, what you do, man, if you grow up in poverty, man, that should make you want to hustle harder. And you got to crawl before you walk, man. Sometimes you got to start off on the bottom, you know, get your little bullshit job or whatever to stack your paper up so you can learn how to get your money together and always keep your eye on going into business for yourself. So you got to get out here and learn what you know how to do. Learn things to do. Learn something that you're going to like to do. But you say you grew up in poverty? Prove it. You ain't got no proof you grew up in poverty, according to Dr. Jason. Man. But another thing I don't like with these black feminists, they always try to put Ida B. Wells in the mix. And I really despise when black feminists do that. Well, you got black feminists like Ida B. Wells. Ida B. Wells was not no feminist. Ida B. Wells was not a feminist. As a matter of fact, Ida B. Wells gave those feminists that work. That's why I would like for somebody to find me a quote that Ida B. Wells made on women's rights. Find some quotes that she made on women's rights. Most of her work was about challenging white supremacy. So what they'll do, they'll get our sister Ida B. Wells and then they try to redefine what she was. And her thing was challenging white supremacy. It wasn't women's rights.
Man, I have about had a brain aneurysm listening to that black feminist. Holy shit. God damn.
Man, my God. Man. Woo!
And, I asked Brother Jason Black this question on this podcast, but I want to get your answer on this. I said, Jason, do you think that white feminists think black women look at black women as inferior? Because if you study the early history of white feminism, they were really racist towards black women.
Yeah.
And they wanted to exterminate black women and black people and sterilize and exterminate black women. Then black women going to sit back and join that movement. And now they want to say, well, we're different from white feminism. No, you use the same term. White feminists say patriarchy, you use it. White feminists say capitalist, you use it. So y'all just mimicking them, but then y'all want to disband yourselves from the movement. So come on now.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that whole thing where, well, we're not like, no, black feminism and white feminism, even the term feminism, y'all got it from white women. Patriarchy, y'all weren't using that until the white women started telling y'all that. Black women didn't use no word, no damn patriarchy. All of that stuff they got from the white feminists. This whole street harassment, the only reason they're talking about it is because of the white feminists, and then they deny that they're doing it because of them. So, again, but as you saw, the logic in the woman who called up, it's that deny, deflect, deny, deflect. Every time you bring a point and you prove it, deny, deflect. When you say, hey, look, white feminism never stood with black women against white men. Yes, they have. Prove it. Well, I can't prove it, but it's all over the place, dude. It's illogical.
Jason Black said, he said you would.
He said what?
Yeah, Jason Black said you would never see that ever happen. He said white women will never turn against the white male power structure. They just never will.
Absolutely
not.
not.
They would defend it, but they would never turn against it.
Absolutely not. Yeah, white feminists they've never in the history of America stood with black women against white males. I've asked them to prove it, and they cannot. They say, well, I got a friend who stood. No, I ain't talking about your friend or somebody your mama knew. Prove it. That's something that we can all see, something that can be verified, and they can't prove it. Now, I can prove where the white feminists stood together to throw brothers under the bus, and I pointed out with the Michelle Wallace book when they supported her in a couple of things in the 1960s, but that's the only time white feminists will support black women, and especially with this whole street harassment thing. This is why I say y'all don't look at that as being suspicious. They don't support you in anything else. Now, all of a sudden, they're supporting you with this street harassment thing, and the black feminists choose to ignore that. So, real heavy stuff, fam. But thanks for the call, man. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice talking to y'all tonight.